Hello Riven mains and Yasuo mains alike, I am the Nightwing, Way of Life Esports, coming at you guys with another League of Legends video. Now we have our first LEC semi-final matchup. That's kind of where they're at right now. Like I said before, I'll kind of get into the groove of how to, title the LEC playoff format. But, if you're telling me that when the third seed is playing the fifth seed, that is pretty much quarterfinals. But nonetheless, we have Schalke going up against Rouge. I'm pretty sure nobody but me gave Rouge a chance. I even said Rouge could beat Splice. I gave them 3-2, and I gave them more games than a lot of people did. So I like for people to understand that best of ones are a lot different than best of fives. Teams that are looked at as bad in best of ones could be completely different in best of fives because there is a bigger sample size to go off of in games, and then that's where you can accurately decide who is better, who is the better player, who is doing the better map rotations, who is actually doing just completely a lot better than what they originally were intended to do during the spring or summer split, depending on which playoff scenario you're even at. So right now we're at Schalke taking down Rouge, or Rouge taking down Schalke. Now it would be a bigger upset if Rouge took down Schalke or vice versa, because Rouge is kind of on a hot streak. They just took down Splice. They're the red hot rookies right now. They're feeling all good about themselves. But here's the big problem with this series is that whoever loses this is out because of their last split performance of not making playoffs. Like, they're just completely out. It is done for them. So this is a do or die matchup for these two teams. Now, if you look at how Schalke play, they like to play through upset, calm, cool, and collected, as the Schalke boys are. Otawamne, solid rock in the top lane. Ignar and Upset, I think, was the second or third best bot lane in EU. I'll be doing my all-pro LEC team while contrasting the all-pro team that the LEC created, and it was literally trolling to a certain degree, but I'll talk about that in a separate video also. With that being said, you have to look at the key difference in the mid lane. You have Larson versus Abadage. I feel like both mid laners have started to come into their own, but I feel like it's going to be pretty even across the board. It's pretty much a toss-up between who is going to do better. I feel like who will do better is going to depend on which matchup they're given. Larson could be given Azir, and you could have Abadage given Corki, and you could have a fight in the mid lane at some point. And then if either one of them get ahead, then I believe either one of those guys is now good enough to take over a game. But I think the real big defining factor comes from Trick and who has now been playing really well for Schalke, versus Inspired, who's been playing really, really well, because Larson and Inspired are the duo of Rouge that has been actually helping them win a lot of games. You even have Finn in the top lane, but I feel like Otawamne's playoff experience and world experience will be good enough to hold back Finn, and I feel like you have the jungler situation with Trick being in more high pressure situations than the Rouge jungler, because you have to factor in Trick was the two-time EULCS MVP when he was on G2, and even when he slumped, he still looked better in playoffs at given points and times, even though he looked really bad at given points and times as well. So, but I feel like now he's kind of become a little bit more usable in a lot of certain ways. He's become more of the consistent jungler, the jungler that is going to path correctly to a certain point and put his resources into the right places. He's always seems to be at the right place at the right time, putting his resources into the right lanes that need to actually carry the game. So what is going to be a big deciding factor for Rouge, because Rouge is coming in with Vander and Woolite, who are still relatively a new bot lane, and Vander has played a ton of playoff games in his career. You saw the stat of Rouge and as they all were compared to Vander in their playoff games. Pretty much Vander had put like 58 some odd playoff games, while Schalke players had played like their very first one. And the fact that he's gotten this roster to this point says something about Vander, and it's really a wonder how Vander is going to get possibly his revenge against the roster, against the org that dumped him off after they lost to Fnatic in after G2 beat them in the regional qualifier last year, and after Fnatic beat them in the finals of last year. And it wouldn't be a perfect storyline if my Polish boy Vander can get his revenge against Schalke. But I think the clock strikes midnight on Rouge's Cinderella story. I feel like Schalke are the more consistent and better team. I feel like just across the board, they have the better players. If you're talking about strictly playing through the bot lane, then I feel like Schalke just has the edge. Schalke has the better bot laners. Schalke has the better players. And I feel like Rouge is going to have to really overperform to actually beat Schalke consistently, in every single game, to the point where I feel like that it's going to be a grueling best of 5. But I feel like Schalke could easily close this series out 3-1. Oh, no, I'll give Rouge some games. I feel like Rouge are a lot better now. I'll give Rouge 3-2, just like I did with Splice. I feel like they're a lot better as a team now. They're playing a lot more cohesively. They're playing a lot more better in terms of what they're able to actually offer as a team. So I feel like both teams match up stylistically very well, but I feel like Schalke themselves are better in terms of what they're trying to execute. Rouge play for more bot duo, mid jungle priority, while their top and mid, while their top, mid, and jungler all play together, while their bot lane is, more or less so a stable point, and they like to play through their top or play through their bot. The Larson can easily get his own leads and play through himself, so Inspire literally just goes wherever he wants. Schalke more or less so play through their bot lane, and Abadage is also a win condition in itself. So that's pretty much it. I think that Schalke will easily clean this out in a grueling best of 5, 3-2, but I'm putting it on the Schalke boys to get to the next round of the LEC, and the winner of this match has to go up against either G2 or Fnatic. So there is no easy routes to the finals for Schalke this year like there were last year when you're beating Vitality, who was just a coin flip team at the end of the day. Kickus was the problem, right, Vitality? Yeah, you definitely made the wrong choice there. So I'll see you guys later. Like, comment, subscribe. Most of all, enjoy. I'm the Nightwing signing out. Wave Life Esports is signing out. Peace. Let me know what you guys think about who's going to win this matchup.